Hello, this is Const is Key, and today I want to talk to you about loops in programming, a way to repeat program instructions for the computer while only typing the instructions once. Here I have 5 examples. In the first example, we will repeatedly add a number to a variable using a for loop. This loop has a counter that starts at 0, and the loop will run while the counter is less than 10. At the end of each loop, we will increase the value of the counter by 1. And each time we run this loop, we will run or execute these 2 lines of code. So when I click on the button, the result is 10. And I click it on again, it's 20 and 30 and so on. What is happening is that 1 is added to the number 10 times, and we're just seeing the result. If I right click on the screen and I inspect, then I go to the console, I see that line 770 is called 10 times, and that each time the number increments by 1. So that's a for loop using math and numbers. Now let's take a look at string. In this loop, we will append or tag text to a string, and we will build it up repeatedly 3 times. These are actually the lyrics to a well-known Spanish song, Feliz Navidad, a well-known Christmas song. So this is a for loop again, and we will start the counter at 0, and the loop will run 3 times, or it will run until I is less than 3. So I will be 0, then it will be 1, and then it will be 2. And so at the end of each code, or each time it runs, we increase the counter by 1, and then we add Feliz Navidad to the string. The string starts off as blank, so we will get 3 lines of Feliz Navidad, and then after it has run 3 times, we'll add the last line to the text with Prospero año y felicidad. So if I click on Get Result, we get the 3 lines plus the last line, and if we continue to click, it keeps adding to it, and this is called concatenation, where you append text to the end of your string variable. Next, we will take a look at arrays. In this loop, we are using a forEach loop that performs code for each element in the array. In this case, we are using a filter to determine whether we will execute a line of code or not on the array element. So here I have declared an array with the const keyword to make sure the program is strong and secure. And we have 5 elements or 5 names in this array: Tom, Will, Jonah, she, and Eric. Now we are going to form a filter so that we will only display to the screen are names that are greater than the max length. So the max length is 3, so I guess that means Tom will not be displayed, but Will, Jonah, and Eric will be displayed because there are more than 3 letters. So if I click on the link, it shows me, of course, names that are more than 3 letters long. So that means the nice thing about this type of array is that it performs the action on every element, and you don't need to know how many elements are in the array. You can trust that it will perform the action on each element. Next, we will take a look at objects. This time, we will perform an action on an object using each of the keys in that object. And we will use a for loop, which is useful when you do not know how long you need to repeat the loop. So this time I have a persons object, and there are 3 persons. And I have some placeholder HTML and CSS. And after looping through the loop, we will add the information from the person object for each person into each of these elements in the page. This time we're using a while loop, and which is useful when we don't know how long we need to repeat. So first we get the keys, make a keys array from the object, and then we set the counter to 0, and we say that we'll continue this loop while the counter is less than the length of the keys array. So there are 3 people, so after it'll count each time, and once we've gone through all the keys, it will stop. We're going to get the name string from the person object, the age, and also the name of the image, so that we can add that. And so let's see how that looks. Click get results, and then it adds the images and information or properties to the web page. Okay, next up is creating UI or user interface elements using arrays. For this loop, we will use a for loop, but this time we do not have any placeholder UI elements. I have decided to use some very interesting Catholic saints, and so when I click on the button, the screen is filled with the HTML for each of the keys in the object. So let's click on the button, and now we have St. Ignatius of Antioch. I can scroll down. We have St. Francis of Assisi, and then last we have Blessed Carlo Acutis from Italy, who may become a saint in 2025. Okay, thank you so much. So those are some loops, and please let me know what's your favorite loop, or if there's another way to do the same thing as a loop that you prefer to use when you do your coding. Okay, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.